Okay. Now first, obviously there are few things which you want to do before I go and do plugins. Here it says Joomla 3.41 is available and you want to update it now. You don't have to download anything, just click on update now and it'll update, it automatically will update the newer version for you. So it'll update your current installation to a higher version. Is that right? I do recommend it, but then at the same time I don't do recommend it for everything. Next time, because it's still 3.4.1, I don't know if you know this, that there is, if it's 3.5, it's a major change. Does it make sense? If it's a 3.40 and 3.1 and 2 and 3, they're just it's just making few changes, very small changes within the package. But when it's a higher number from 3.5, then they made a subtle change in there, and obviously there could be 4 also. So you should never upgrade from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 by just clicking, because there would be certain things which won't work. They will just stop working. Does it make sense? If it's a sub number, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, these are just minor changes which they keep doing. So you could do that, but if it's a first number change, you never just click and upgrade, because that will stop making your older things not working. Your templates will not work, or certain things won't work. For this one, you can just click on update now and it will actually upgrade your Joomla to a next 4.1 version. Okay. Now I think that is why you must have seen that when you go to the extension directory, it says 2.3, isn't it? It doesn't say 0.5 or 0.6. All the templates you are looking at, it is not saying which 2.5 or 2.6 version it is for. It just says 1, 2, 3 or specific. So that's a major jump in the package. Within that it should work. The next thing which you all have asked is content, article manager. You all have a default page called as home, isn't it? No, but if you have it, you don't really have to delete that page. All you have to do is, let's say if there is a home, I don't have it at the moment. Yeah, it definitely comes in your, but that wouldn't be here, isn't it? You don't see it here, is that right? You see that in the menus, it's not here. But then what you will have to do is create one home page, isn't it? Because what is available is home page is not there by default. It's a home menu is already there, isn't it? There's a difference. I can't see it in articles because it's not an article. It's not a page called as home, right? It is just a menu link called as home. Now what you need to do is you'll have to create one page first. What do you want to call as a landing page or a home page? So you'll have to create one article. So when you're creating that article, I just want to do that for yourself because I think you will see those errors. Does that make sense? So if I say new and I say home, is that right? And I say save and close. Some of you get this error message that something already exists with that name. Some of you might not get that error, right? I don't think so. You will get an error unless you've not messed up anything. If it does, just you don't have to call your page home, isn't it? Your page can be called whatever. It's your menu what needs to be called as home. Is that do you understand? Article can be called whatever because I don't see article name anywhere unless it's printed on the page. So now if you go to your menu and yeah.
In terms of how to handle article next, like can we get hold of the HTML page?
It is called index. Your every page is called index. What is happening in Joomla is there is only one page existing which is called index. Everything is showing up in that page only and it's changing. That's how it is. That's why Joomla is a content management system because there's no HTML pages. Everything is gone in a database. So what pages you are making, they are stored in a database. And there is only one page called as index, and the content keeps changing and showing differently when people click on that links. Is that right? Sorry? You don't? You will, no, I think you, no, I think you will deal with Joomla very well. At the moment, you've only had few contact times, right? Once you have worked with it, you will find it easier. Here it says home, right? And it is also your default page. The star here means that's your landing page. You can actually change whatever you want to be your landing page. Is that okay? And here, if I click on home, actually it is not linked to a single article. Just link it with that article which you just made. Because here what it is that it has been saying that a menu item type is featured articles. Which means if I have 3 articles or 4 articles and I make 2 of them featured, they will all show up on the home page, which I don't want at the moment. So what you need to do is change this to single article as you normally do your page. So there's no need to delete the home default home menu. Just click on it and change it. Is that right? Sorry? Is featured article, single article, and then choose the name of your article which you want to call as home, and that's it. That's done. Just like any other page, right? So save and close. Okay, I'll show you an example. Not home, but let me just make another page which is featured article. So let's say I make a new menu here. Articles, and I say featured articles, and I have actually called it as, I've called this menu also featured, right? Or let's say special. I'm just calling it special, just so that you can see what's the difference, right? And here I haven't, when I say featured articles, it does not allow me to choose anything further. Is that right? Just say save and close. Now what I need to do is, if I go back to my articles now, I have these articles, right? So what I'm going to do is, can you see this star here? So if I click on this star, this becomes a featured page, and this also becomes a featured page. The normal 2 pages, but by putting those stars, they become special, right? They're starred. Now what happens is my menu. So this is my normal pages. So if I click on home, the home page will come, which obviously has got nothing in it. About us, that's my about us. Yeah. That's my courses, which is courses page again. Is that right? Yeah. Now when I go on special, my page is going to get divided automatically, and it will show me the about us and the courses together. What was the second featured page? So on my special, I don't see anything else but the same page, isn't it? So what happens is, when you say featured, whatever has been marked as featured, they will all come together as small readings, and people just can click on read more to read it more. That's what a featured page does. That's the display. It's not about the feature, because you have not hide it. the menu title and the page title. You need to hide that page title and menu to hide that, right? So feature just means it's just a you mark, and it's basically coming from a concept from a blog that you want or a concept of an article that this is a special article. So where should I display it? So if you have you have 100 articles. Out of them you want 5, on your home page, little.
Summarise would be on.
And they're not summarized. They just pick up first 5 lines or first 4 lines from that article, display it, and then there is a link to read further. That's all. Go into that actual page, actual article. Because don't forget, they are actual articles, aren't they? So they're separate pages, so they'll just take you to that separate page. That's all. So you can create a list of featured articles by just clicking on that menu. You don't have to. I think this one, because it was just a category. I don't have another page. This is just a category called as web. It's not a page. Yeah. So all you have to do is, on your menu, just tell me that your home is a single article. That's all. Is that right? Is that clear? That's how you just change your home page. Yeah. What is Sadina and Pratap up to? Where do you, Pratap, wait. Where do you go to configure your template? Why do I go to article? John, where should she go to configure her template? Well, I'm not discussing that right now, and I shouldn't be telling you this. But then that means you're not listening. You're just moving. But anyways, you've asked that. Where should I go? You go to configure my template. You should go to extensions, template manager, to modify anything you want to modify with your template. That has got nothing to do with your article. It would be template manager. You click here and it allows you to configure that. If it doesn't allow you to configure that, then you will have to go to their CSS file to do that. Right? And that is your templates here. If you go there, it will give you the HTML and CSS files which you can modify. I shouldn't be showing you this, but I'm doing that. This is index.php. That is the root page of. So if there is something fixed on a page which you don't like, that would be on index.php. Just get rid of that line. You go and look at it and change whatever is there. This is the page. You can't change whatever is coming. Like, don't go and change anything which you don't understand. Here it just says there's nothing on this page. Can you see? On my index.php there's nothing, but it is referring to 2 pages. It's okay. I've been like that. So default and options. So there is a default. Go away this menu. Layouts. So there is a default PHP and options.php. So you go into that file, and usually that will have what you're looking for. Some people are very clever. They think that people who are using these templates can be obviously taught very little. Does that make sense? So like I've told you, go in index.php and change, right? So there was nothing in index.php. We looked there. There is something called default PHP and options.php. Now you come back in default PHP, and can you see that it is not? There's nothing there as well. There's information in top.php, main.php, and info.php. This makes sense. They've just built that hierarchy blocking system, but there has to be one file where that hard-coded lines are. Like copyright or whatever that fixed lines are. They are going to be in one of these files. And I don't know. I think Presley raised that if you know exactly what you want to get rid of, you need to find where it is. Does that make sense? Now there are two ways of doing it. One, this is long way. Go into this file, go back in where that file is. The best thing is go into your page, look what you want. Like let's say this. Is that right? I want to get rid of this design by Joomla 88. Highlight that. Right click, inspect element. It will tell you where this is. So, and just go, no, first look for that file, where that file is. Does it make sense? This will actually tell you where exactly that file is, where this code is. So I want to know where this line is in the first place. Yeah. So can you see where it is? I mean, the template which is working is template.css. Is that right? But which file is it? It should usually tell you here only what file is it. Because my page is special, um, I'm going to go back to my index page and then highlight. Is it there? Sorry. Here. And designed by, just trying to see where this file is coming from. That's the name of the CSS. But can you see the name of the CSS changing? Because there are so many CSS, so it will depend on which CSS, but that's the coloring of it. On the right, here. Yeah, this will tell me that, but should usually comes up with where no, that will just tell me HTML. The only thing is sometimes because the way they have done it, they've done an include. I think that's why they can't tell which, because eventually they are all in that file. Okay. What I'm going to do is highlight this and go here. It should be. It's not here. Layouts. Blocks. Is there a bottom? Should be. This line should be in somewhere here. Here. And what I usually don't do is I don't delete these lines. Does that make sense? I've just done it as a comment. I'm coming. Yeah, I know the meeting, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So once you've commented it, that's all. You don't have to do anything. Just save, and in fact, it is saved, and that's it. Save and close. And now from my page, should be gone. It's gone. So it's up to you. What do you want? I want to move this in the center. Go and change. You can write on an inline style. You can obviously do things. It's up to you. How do you want to do it? You either highlight this line, and in the same way, go to the code and put an inline style into that, or highlight it. Find out what CSS div or class is it. No, it won't come with inline style. No. Everything is happening. Look, everything is happening with, like, let's say I don't like this gray, right? I don't like this gray. I can do inspect element and see what that div is, and where this color is coming from. So, like, this is going back to module table, that sidebar. So what is it that which we have picked up, right? Can you see that's little box? But I don't want. Do I want to change the color of this, or am I changing the color of the whole place? Does it make sense? Keep going up. Yeah. What do you want to change color of? Now here there is a class called as row, right? And there is a class called as row here. Is that right? So do I want to change anything here? Yes, I want to put a background. Yeah. So I've just done that. So there are, either you modify the CSS which is associated with it, or you do an inline style. You can find out that line in that code and then just. Yeah, but then now that will come with practice. I'm saying it's not that difficult, but if you know your concept that that's a CSS which is applying, and you know how to find out that CSS, you should be able to do it. Yeah. So I know that's not looking nice, but it's. No. What she's saying is save. Yes. When you're working on, because your website is locally and you're doing it, it'll work. But if it was on live, it will not work. Yeah. If I'm working on local host, isn't it? Yeah, because your files are here, you have the whole permissions, it will work. But if you were working on live, then you don't have the work permissions to. Otherwise, you will be changing anybody's website, isn't it? This is your machine. You have the. This is your testing server, so it should be all right. You go to your template manager, and then that's where it is. So you can come here and do it, and you can create your own if you go at the end and create a class or a ID. Just like you write in your CSS. Instead of doing inline, I prefer that you go to one of these CSS files and write down the code you want at the end, and then include that ID in a class wherever you want it. So here, styles is what it allows you to configure. You click on a template, it allows you to configure whatever. So if your menu options are there, your logo is there, that will be here, right? But if you go to templates, it shows you the CSS. Pick up the template you're looking for. It shows you the actual CSS file of these. Yeah. Yeah. The reason is because there would be so many CSS sometimes, and you might say, oh, where am I going? Then that inspect element helps you which CSS you should be actually going to. Yeah, you can. But like, let's say you would be working on live, isn't it? On your Joomla, you won't be able to change that on inspect element now. Is it okay? So close. Okay, go